space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings.
Yo, they got a different layout on here.
You know the soul does its role, the heart's doing what it's told. Sit back and just you listen. When love comes, it's on a mission. With your mind, you get choice. Can't ignore your inner voice. You know that sweet gut feeling, all that it's been revealing. You already know we're good to go. Ain't nobody gonna steal the show.
What up, what up, what up?
Heart's led to me, tethered to me, platinum cord right to me. Your heart's led to me. So what they talking about? They don't know. It's love. They don't know. It's love. They don't know. It's love. They don't know. They look at us with a bad mind. It don't matter. We're fine, baby. We're good. We're tight. But they love to start a fight. We don't care what they do. We're good to go. Just us two. Over there, so remiss. Mad cause we got love like this. They already know we're good to go. So nobody gonna steal the show. Your heart's led to me. Your heart's led to me. Tethered to me. Platinum cord right to me. Your heart's led to me. So what they talking about? They don't know. It's love. They don't know. It's love. They don't know. It's love. They don't know. If they try to play smart and we listen to our heart, they never tear us apart. We've been tied from the start. If they try to play smart and we listen to our heart, they never tear us apart. We've been tied from the start. Your heart's led to me. To me. Said right to me. You're right to me. Platinum cord to me. Right to me. Your heart's led to me. So what they talking about? They don't know. Your heart's led to me. Tethered to me. Platinum cord right to me. Your heart's led to me. What they on about? It's love, love.
Okay, hold
They
on,
don't
Jimmy.
know. They don't
Oh, yeah, we
know.
gotta go.
It's love, love. They don't know. They don't know. It's love, love. They don't know. They don't know. It's love, love. They don't know. It's love, love. They don't know. They don't know. It's love, love. They don't know. They don't know. It's love, love. They don't know.
Yeah. I played it one time before already though. What's going on with y'all out there in the YouTube world, TikTok world, Twitch world? I hope everything is great. Um I what I wanted to do today was kind of dig into the history of something that is related strongly to this case. It's wrapped around this whole Diddy case, and it is the Mann Act. The Mann Act that was put into play in 1910. And the reason why the Mann Act came about because a strapping young boxer by the name of Jack Johnson stood to disrupt everything. I mean, literally, Jack Johnson was running around punching on Caucasians like it was a sport. Oh, yeah. At that time, it was a sport. So Jack was doing what he wanted to do. Not only that, Jack had an infatuation for the Caucasian persuasion. Jack was traveling with these YT women, taking them from state to state, and their families was turning their backs on them. They were literally, after they got with Jack, their families would disown them. Some of them unalive theirself, all types of stuff. Jack was running rampant. And you can look this story up. Jack Johnson's story is wrapped around boxing history, around the Great White Hope. And a lot of you guys might not even remember the Great White Hope story. But Jack Johnson was traveling everywhere. I mean, they started changing the laws to try to get Jack Johnson to stop boxing. Jack Johnson had to go all the way to England and get boxing permits over there to keep on fighting. They ran Jack Johnson out of America, and Jack Johnson hid away in Mexico for a little bit. He was like one of the only boxers that still held a title, but wasn't in possession of his title. Like, it wasn't stripped away, because at that time they didn't really have rules that kind of like said the champion wasn't the champion. And that title, to say that you were the champion of the world, like to have that boxing title at the time, it was like the greatest thing to uphold was the, champion, world champion of the world. And Jack Johnson was punching on him from West Zimity Bob to West Zimity Zoo. Jack Johnson, right? And they put the Mann Act in place because of Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was taking these women across state lines, doing all types of stuff, right? I don't know what he was really doing, but they put the Mann Act, I think, all the way up into like 2012 or something. His family has been fighting certain variations of situations that was around, circulating around Jack at the time to get certain rights back. But this is going back to the Mann Act, right? The Mann Act. And this Mann Act states so much. I don't think you guys really look into the Mann Act, but telephones, talking on the telephones to fly somebody out is against the Mann Act, right? So everybody out there that's, oh, I'm gonna flow you out, I'm gonna flew you out, I'm gonna flew you out, right? You guys are violating the Mann Act, right? So now, for sure, we know that this situation is going to change the face of our nation, because it's going to change the rules, right? Because you guys don't really know what falls under the Mann Act, right? When you're talking about you know, flying people out, flying people from state to state, cuddy buddies, all of that stuff, this is against the Mann Act. That's why I say y'all really don't know how important this trial is or how deep it actually goes. And this was look, I want y'all to understand what the Mann Act was called. Before it was called the Mann Act, it was called the White Slave Traffic Act. Huh? They hit Diddy with the White Slave Traffic Act. Y'all don't see what the fuck goes on? They hit my boy Diddy with the White Slave Traffic Act, and y'all don't even know it. Y'all don't even go look up the Mann Act. The Mann Act was known as the White Slave Traffic Act. The act made it a felony to transport knowingly or any person in interstate commerce or foreign commerce for prostitution or any other immoral purpose. It was also made in a felony to, this was against Jack Johnson. Yes, I'm reading the chat coming from Twitch. I'm reading the chat. I see you. I play Call of Duty. I stream other games too. I play For Honor with my kids, so on and so forth. I stream a lot of different games over there. So yeah. What is it called? I'm trying to get on a regular schedule over there on Twitch. I need somebody to help me with a lot of the stuff over there on Twitch, as far as putting together a display and getting my videos to play over there and so on and so forth. So yeah, sure. Yo, y'all don't really know what's happening right now. Y'all don't really realize what happened. I want y'all to go back and look at the history of the Mann Act, Federal Mann Act, right? I want y'all to go look at the Federal Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act, right? Y'all don't really realize what he got hit with, because a lot of y'all are like so blinded by the RICO thing and so blinded by whatever, right? You got this Mann Act goes back to 1910. This Mann Act was incorporated during the time that black people was not even considered, you know, men, right? Because this is before all of that, right? So when you really go back and look at the history of this, right, you would actually see that a lot of people are in violation of this, right? United States Mann Act, transportation for a purpose of prostitution, right? Which we already see that he got found guilty of that, right? But this is called the White Slave Traffic Act. Listen, I don't see no other thing. I don't see nothing that says it's a Black Trade Traffic Act. I don't see that. Where's that at? Where's that law? I mean, never mind. That's probably a different argument. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I had feelings and emotions aside. We're just here for the logic. We're just here for the knowledge. Okay. So I really want y'all to understand exactly what it is. See, everybody's blinded. Everybody's paying attention to the wrong stuff. You know, history will always repeat itself, as they say. You know, if you open your eyes, you'll see that, you know, the world is actually stranger than fiction, however you want to look at it. But if we was to get into this, right, telephones and stuff like that falls under this, right? So you guys don't understand what actually takes place in this Mann Act. So let's let AI read a little bit for it. I'll put my Discord in there for you. I'll drop my Discord link for you. That, because I know you're going to keep on spamming. You're going to go crazy and spam, and then when you get to the Discord, you're going to send me copies and say that you do a lot of work, and you can send me copies of your work. I get that. Please, I'm gonna drop the Discord. Look, stop, please. Here you go, Twitch. Here you go, please. I dropped the Discord. Okay, please do not get in my Discord and spam a bunch of stuff, please. I know you're just a person that's making money, you know, on Twitch by selling people different things. And I know you use a pretty picture as your profile in order to sell this stuff. But I'm asking you nicely, please don't, you know, spam my Discord, please.
A telephone is categorized as a facility in interstate commerce. Therefore, even an interstate telephonic conversation with an intention to commit the crime of immoral traffic will constitute an offense.
Hold on, stop right there. Stop right there. Did you hear what it just said, right? It said a telephone is categorized as a facility in interstate commerce, right? So a telephone is under a facility, right? So when you're using these telephones to set up these flyouts, right, it is an offense against the Mann Act, right? So this actually changes everything. This is a game changer, people. This is a game changer, because now it is illegal to fly out. So rules are about to change. Your rules of engagement are about to change. Huh? You flew who out? Huh? Right? So listen, Frey, whatever your name is, can't you see me doing a live right now? You're not about to keep on spamming my Discord, telling me to go check the Discord. And this is why I'm saying, can you please let me do what I'm doing? I dropped the Discord link like you asked, right? And now you're giving me more instructions to do more stuff, only so you can sell me a product. Okay? Let me finish doing my live. It's not like you're raiding my room, right? It's not like you're giving me a bunch of subs. Stop being so demanding. Chill out over there on Twitch. All right, you selling me backdrops or whatever it is, yo, I'm about to get a Twitch mod and block you. I see that you're in the Discord. Okay, I see. Stream Vibe Studio. I see you in my Discord. I see you in there. I see you in my Discord. Please stop telling me to check the Discord. Let me finish talking about what I'm talking about. Please. Can you please stop spamming on Twitch? Please. Thank you. Okay, so this changes everything, right? A telephone is category under the facilities and interstate commerce, right? So now we're dealing with interstate commerce. Yeah, it's probably a block. It's probably a what you call a bot. Okay, so now listen to what I'm saying. So when you're engaging on the phone and conversations and you're making a plan to fly somebody out with the intent of, right? It's against the Mann Act, right? So now all of this social media, I flew a OF fan out, I flew an Instagram model out, I flew this out, right? I want y'all to know that at the discretion of the person that you're flying out, you can possibly be charged with the Mann Act, right? At the discretion at the person that you flying out, you could possibly be charged with the Mann Act. You get what I'm saying? So this is very big. I don't know if y'all really paying attention to it, but this is very big.
Another federal statute has made it an offense for anyone to engage in prostitution, or a variety of prostitution-related offenses, within such reasonable distance of any military or naval camp, station, fort, post, yard, base, cantonment, or training or mobilization place. The Mann Act also deals with the issue of child pornography. Boys and girls are protected from exploitation under the Act because the Act provides protection without gender differentiation. The federal act.
Now you see how big this Mann Act actually is, the wide range that it actually covered. Actually, everything that's going on through sending certain things, VI internet, sharing pictures, doing whatever, all of this stuff falls under the Mann Act. Everything that you guys are doing, all of this social construct of engagement, flying people out, pimping ain't easy, it ain't tricking if you got it, all of that shit falls under the Mann Act. All right, you get what I'm saying? So that's why I say this is actually a lot bigger than what you think. It's bigger than what you think when you dig into the Mann Act, which is also known as White Slave Act. You know what I'm saying? So this is where I say, look up the history of this. This is Jack Johnson they literally said that the reason why this Mann Act was put in place because they thought that it was going to affect white supremacy. That's what they said. Because they was like, oh, Joe Jackson, Jack Johnson flying people out, you know what I'm saying, doing all of this stuff. What? He had all of these white women running around, in different areas, Chicago area, so on and so forth, right? And they didn't like that shit. They didn't like that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? So they put this act into play. And you can go look it up. It's literally called, right here. I'll let AI read it because a lot of times y'all don't believe us anyway because y'all don't think we can read know how. So
the Mann Act is also known as the White Slave Traffic Act. The act made it a felony to transport knowingly any person in interstate commerce or foreign commerce for prostitution or any other immoral purpose.
And that's
it also
knowingly.
Made it a felony to coerce an individual into such immoral acts.
Even to
under the Mann
coerce
Act,
an individual into such acts. So even if you coerce them into such heinous acts, it's against the Mann Act. Even if you know that they are a night worker or whatever, even to take them somewhere under the knowing that this is what they're doing is against the Mann Act, right? So I mean, this goes back to 1920. I don't know if it referenced Joe Jack, the Constitution of Mann Act has been upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court case of Hope versus United States. 1913, the right to travel of the individual is not curtailed by the Mann Act. Mann Act is used by the Federal Bureau of Investigations to commercialize immoral sexual acts. See right there. So this was a commercial business, right? This is why this is so big, because it's commercializing sexual activity. So a lot of stuff that you guys are not looking at is falling under a Mann Act. A lot of these people that's selling, sex to us, selling lust to us, they could be hit with the Mann Act. I should go to Victoria's Secret right now and fucking smack their ass with the Mann Act. Okay, maybe that might be too much, but I'm saying anything can
The
fall up under this.
constitutionality of the
And you
Mann Act has
selling
been
sex
upheld by
to
the
us.
U.S. Supreme Court in the case Hoke versus United States, 227 U.S. 308, U.S. 1913. The right to travel of an individual is not curtailed by the Mann Act. The Mann Act is used by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to curtail commercialized immoral sexual activity. Either a man or
Commercialized
woman can be
immoral
prosecuted
sexual
under the Mann
activity.
Act. The intention or consent of the person transported is immaterial for constituting an offense. The intention of the offender is taken as an essential element. The Mann Act is violated when a defendant crosses the state line with the requisite intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. For conviction under the Mann Act,
criminal.
it is not necessary that the person transported is a minor. However, illicit sexual activity should be the essential motive to constitute the offense. The act can also been applied where the intent was to engage in a bigamous or polygamous marriage.
You see
The
that?
transaction need not be a continuous.
You see that?
How big is the Powerball jackpot? Immense, mega,
What the fuck is you?
massive, whopping, staggering, towering.
Where's that coming from? All right, so you got Joe Jack. Joe Jack made them implement the Mann Act, when he was doing that with all those YT people, right? And, I just want to let y'all know that this goes out to all you YouTubers too that's out there fluding people out, right? And this especially goes out to you. You keep on, going to all these different places, getting flowed out, you know what I'm saying, for those type of activities, and you gonna fuck around and get the Mann Act put on yourself, against yourself, because you fluding yourself out for all of that shit tonight. And I want to let you know, this Mann Act, you are committing federal crimes as a male, what you're doing out there. You understand what I'm saying? So all of y'all on YouTube, all of y'all on TikTok, all of y'all on Facebook that's using these applications for, whatever it is that y'all using them for, that's criminal activity, right? Your ass about to get booked. All right, book them, Dano. Your ass is about to get booked, okay? So y'all keep on playing this little game because y'all don't want the intellectual people to point out the fact that y'all using this shit for hobosation, right? Because you're a hobosexual, right? So you ain't really got nowhere to go. So you grifting from state to state, selling yourself. Now they're going to cook your ass, all right? Donuts, all right? They're going to really push it out for your ass, all right? Now I'm pointing out the fact that you violating the federal offense. Now y'all keep on trying to make it seem like I ain't got no charges. Your ass just ain't been caught yet. But those text messages and those phone calls prove that you've been using a facilitated device such as a cell phone in order to perform acts, right? And you already got videos out that shows that you performing these acts. Push it out for me, okay? So if you know what your best interest is, you need to stop fucking with the Atlas family. Don't mention our name. None of y'all should be mentioning us, right? Because we ain't no dummies over here, okay? So we gonna point the feds to y'all ass, and we hope the feds confiscate y'all cell phones, and we hope the feds find the text messages and the phone calls that shows that y'all prostitutes. So keep on playing with us, right? Because y'all breaking the federal offense. You flying yourself out to Dubai. You flying yourself to Canada, and let the flight records show that he's doing that, okay? So you violating the federal offense by going over to Dubai for sexual activities. You violating the federal offense when you go to Canada for sexual activities. So I want to let you know, we ain't no fucking dummies over here. You ain't gonna play us like dummies. You ain't gonna make it seem like we uneducated. You ain't gonna make it seem like we dumb. All right, we're gonna really show you how to push it out. Okay, with knowledge, wisdom. Okay, so if someone happens to confiscate your phone, right, you are in violation of the Mann Act, my guy. All right, according to the federal laws, and it states when you are using these telephone devices in order to operate in such manner, it is a violation of the Mann Act. Okay, so Mr. Denard, Mr. Police Officer, your pizza ready, huh?
A
Book
telephone
that.
is categorized as a facility in interstate commerce. Therefore, even an intrastate telephonic conversation with an intention to commit the crime of immoral traffic will constitute an
Now
offense.
fuck around and find out.
Another federal statute has made it an offense for anyone to engage in prostitution, or a variety of prostitution-related offenses, within such reasonable distance of any military or naval camp, station, fort, post, yard, base, cantonment, or training or mobilization place.
Yeah.
The Mann Act also deals with the issue of
If you close to any of those locations, push it out for me. Huh? Ray J, Whack 100, all of y'all should be under investigation for the Mann Act. The Boys and Girls Club should be under investigation for the Mann Act. The agency that he operates should be investigation for the Mann Act. Need I keep going? Huh? Cassie, violation of the Mann Act. All of these people operating under this flowed out type mindset, you're in violation of the Mann Act. Book them, Dano. Lock them all up. Fuck it. They are using telephone devices, which is known as a facilitator of commerce. Huh? Should I break the law down for your ass? Or we about to change it all up now? Everything's about to change as you knows it. Everything as you knows it. Where my Uncle Ruckus voice at? Let me put my Uncle Ruckus voice on. This act is only for whites. Okay? This is a whites only act. And anybody that is in violation of this whites only act is in violation of the fact that I, too, am white. I just got vitiligo. You know that thing Michael Jackson got? I just got that, but in reverse. Vitiligo. Yeah, we all gonna make this white heaven. Anybody that's not in operation up under the proper use of this act, you are in violation of the White Slave Traffic Act. Can we just call it what the fuck it is? It is called the White Slave Traffic Act. Any of you motherfuckers out there that think that y'all flew somebody out? Wait, hold on. Fuck. Damn it. Y'all are all fucked up. All of y'all going down. Keep playing. Huh? We're going to confiscate cell phones and text messages. Huh? Yeah, that goes for you too, Jaguar. Oh, man. Real life street stars. Have y'all used y'all platforms or corporation to inquire some coochie? Oh, shit. Oh, all of them might be in violation. Anybody that's using their platforms or social media status to gain access to some publicity might be in violation of this. Ooh, this is interesting. My. This is good to me. You know what? See, y'all wanted to try to make it seem like we were slinging dick in the Discord. But now, my. Now, come to find out, all of y'all are fucking over this whole thing. Ooh, this goes to the Storm Monroes. Ooh, this goes to the Love Joneses. Ooh, this is good. This is good. I bet you all of y'all are in fear right now with the level of text messages and jumping in people's DMs. Ooh, yes. Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up. This is good. All of y'all are violating the Mann Act with these telephone devices. Yes. The feds is about to capitalize on their percent rate because they about to get a 99.9% conviction rate. All they got to do is confiscate cell phones. Yep. I bet you didn't know. Huh? Huh? Let me read it again. Let me have AI read it again for you so you can hear it again. Because a lot of y'all keep acting like y'all ain't know. Y'all make sure y'all clip this. Y'all ready? Y'all make sure y'all clip this.
When a person by persuasion, inducement, enticement, or coercion transports an individual through a facility in interstate or foreign commerce to engage in prostitution or in any sexual activity, it will be an offense under the Act. If the individual transported is below 18 years also, it will constitute an offense. The person transported can be of U.S. origin or an alien. Any attempt to do such an offense is also punishable. Using mail or other facility in interstate or foreign commerce to facilitate the prohibited conduct will also come under the offense.
Mail.
A telephone is categorized as a
Email.
facility in interstate commerce. Therefore,
Don't
even an
email
interstate
count?
telephonic conversation with an
Electronic
intention to commit the crime
transaction.
of immoral traffic will
Yeah.
constitute an offense.
You know what that means? Any form of mail, right? That means your DM messages, right? That means your DM messages falls under mail or a form of mail, right? Plus your cellular device falls under a facility, interstate commerce, right? So now your cell phone, your emails, your DMs, all of that flowed out shit, book them, Dano. Ooh, woo. Love wins again. I love it. I love it. So this is exposing two things. This is exposing the original act was put in place to try to, because they were scared. I ain't gonna lie. They were scared. They were scared. They were scared.
So big, we ran out of words to describe it. We're talking big.
They were scared. They were scared Jack Johnson was going to shake up the world and start like a, I don't know what the hell they were scared of. Jack was just, you know what I'm saying? He just had a couple of women that he was with, you know? But Jack became something big. You know, Jack became something big. He was beating up these people and he had to go all the way to London. Literally, he had to go all the way to London, right? Jack had to go all the way to London. He had to go to Australia. Tommy, because this is when he beat Tommy Burns, right? Tommy Burns fought him outside of Sydney in Australia. But when Jack won, man, they changed up everything for Jack. They you know, had laws against Jack, you know, all that stuff, right? But see, what y'all don't know is prison sentence, presidential pardon, right? In April of 2019 or April 2018, I think this is when Jack Johnson was pardoned. If y'all don't remember the history of it.
In April 2018, President Donald Trump tweeted that, after receiving a phone call from actor and boxing aficionado Sylvester Stallone, he was considering a full posthumous pardon for Johnson's violation of the Mann Act. In May 2018, Trump granted Johnson a posthumous pardon.
See, in 2018, Trump gave him a pardon for the Mann Act. That's why I'm saying y'all really don't know the history of this. Y'all don't know the history of this. Jack Johnson was wrongfully accused of the Mann Act. They literally had warrants. He couldn't box in America no more. He had to go over to London. He had to literally go to Mexico, right? Because he was the champion at the time. They had to change boxing rules to fit. You know what I mean? Like they had to change up everything to fit this, right? Johnson had 3 spouses, all of whom were white, which caused great controversy. His first marriage was 1911 to Brooklyn socialite, divorced, and their relationship was anything but stable, whatever it says. And then he had another wife, the Eura, whatever her name was, right? And he divorced in 1924. And they literally did movies about this. Um, you can go look it up. They got movies under like the Great White Hope, so on and so forth, right? This is the Great White Hope, one of the movies that they remade of Jack Johnson's story was the Great White Hope. If you want to go and watch a
Since his
movie,
death, Johnson's life and career have undergone a major rehabilitation. His alleged crimes are now seen as the result of racial bias in law enforcement. In 1970, Johnson was portrayed by actor James Earl Jones in the film adaptation The Great White Hope, which was sourced from the 1967 play by Howard Sackler. Jones and his co-star Jane Alexander both received Oscar nominations for their work on the film. 20 years later, Johnson was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, and his life also became the subject of the acclaimed Ken Burns documentary Unforgivable Blackness, 2004.
see? Now, that's why I say, like, I like digging into history. I like knowing stuff. I don't know if you guys like knowing stuff, but I like knowing stuff, right? So in 2018, Trump actually gave him a pardon, post pardon, because he was already gone. He was deceased. But he pardoned him for the Mann Act, right? Now, the reason why he pardoned him for the Mann Act was so that way Jack Johnson's history would not be tainted within, the story within boxing, right? Because he's a very important part of boxing, right? They actually, like, I watched the movie about this and everything like that, and they actually like paid Jack Johnson to throw the fight against, with a big Great White Hope fight. They actually paid him to throw the fight because they said that it was messing up the image. I mean, I'm talking about when Jack Johnson was fighting and he was beating, like, it was reshaping history as we knew it. It was reshaping history. They was like, hell no, he got to be stopped. That's why they created the Great White Hope. They started sending messages to Johnson when he was down in Mexico and stuff like that to get him prepared for this fight. Muslims came to him and, they told him to throw the fight for whatever reason, because he was saying, like, they were saying, like, if Jack Johnson was to win that fight, that Great White Hope fight, it would have started a race war at that time, right? So they were saying, like, yo, you got to throw this fight. You can't win this fight. You know what I mean? They were already on him for marrying white women. They were trying to save, supremacy, whatever it is that they were trying to save back then. You got to remember, this was the KKK time. This wasn't the history that we know. This was before, the act of, when did we sign the Emancipation Proclamation? It doesn't matter, because at that time, you wasn't allowed to look at no white woman, let alone what Jack was doing. Jack was fluting them out. You know what I'm saying? Jack was fluting them out. Huh? Jack was on a plane, trains, and all types of automobiles with them, huh? I bet you in the 1920s they wasn't talking about something. It ain't tricking if you got it. Jack was out there with Cadillacs pulling up with them white women, huh? Jack was just showing off with them white women. They was like, oh no, fuck that. He was about to take all our women's. They did not like that at all. And that's why, I'm happy that we live in a world where love don't have no color and we able to love who we want to love, because we came a long way from Jack Johnson. Can you imagine, driving, because people drive state to state all the time for some cutty. You know what I'm saying? I see it on TikTok all the time. Oh, you flew from New York to be with somebody. People finding love on TikTok all the time. So I want y'all to understand what this means. That means that everybody that is using these applications, such as Tinder, such as Plenty of Fish, ChristianMingles.com, that goes against the Mann Act. So every company that has these online applications that are, orchestrating some type of dating service, this goes against the Mann Act. I want you guys to know that, because it is telling you, under the understanding that this is a corporation, right? So now you're using corporations, right? Commercialized corporations to do this. This is against the Mann Act. So if we are to fully, imply this back into our because we can't pick and choose, right? We can't pick and choose. Y'all can't choose to hit Diddy with the Mann Act if you got corporations such as Plenty of Fish, right? You can't choose to hit Diddy with the Mann Act if fucking Hugh Hefner didn't get hit with the Mann Act. If half of these other people didn't get hit with the Mann Act, right? So you can't hit Diddy with the Mann Act because there's too many other corporations that's selling us lust, that's selling us, you know what I'm saying, Grinder, Tinder, so on and so forth, right? These are, you know, commercialized businesses, right? And I'm not in the defense of Diddy. Please don't. And I know this is going to spread like wildfire. I know a lot more people are, you know, on YouTube and TikTok. Y'all listening to what I'm saying, and y'all like, oh shit. So I know a lot of this is going to spread like wildfire. And over the week and this week and to come, all of y'all are going to be, it's going to be a lot of conversations about this. You know, what does actually violate the Mann Act, because there's a lot more corporations out here that's violating the Mann Act under the fact that they are selling us lust and selling us sex. So who the fuck are we picking and choosing? Because Bad Boy ain't the only one that's selling us. You got Luke and the 69 Boys. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
The constitutionality of the Mann Act has been upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court in the case Hoke versus United States, 227 U.S. 308, U.S. 1913. The right to travel of an individual is not curtailed by the Mann Act. The Mann Act is used by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to curtail commercialized immoral sexual activity. Either a man or a woman can be prosecuted under the Mann Act. The intention or consent of the person.
Now, here's the thing. You can say, like, because it says immoral activity, like, you know what I'm saying, you could say that, but prostitution, you know, falls under this act. So
transported is immaterial for constituting an offense. The intention of the offender is taken as an essential element. The Mann Act is violated when a defendant crosses the state line with the requisite intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. For conviction under the Mann Act, it is not necessary that the person transported is a minor. However, illicit sexual activity should be the essential motive to constitute the offense.
Illicit.
The act can also be applied where the intent was to engage in a bigamous or polygamous marriage. The transaction need not be a continuous process to constitute an offense under the Mann Act.
Illicit.
Even a single interstate transportation knowingly to commit immoral sexual activity will amount to a violation of the Mann Act. A person violating the Mann Act can be prosecuted under various grounds. A person can be prosecuted for the offense of causing transportation of a person in interstate commerce for certain prescribed purposes, and the offense of inducing a person to go in interstate commerce for like purposes. Both the acts are separate offenses and a person can be guilty of both offenses. This can happen even if the same parties are involved in the transaction, and the cause of action.
Did you hear that? It says that a person can be charged with separate offenses. So basically, under the Mann Act, not only the getting the person there, but also knowing that. Okay, I'm gonna replay it so you guys can hear it again. This is why you can be charged separately. This is why Diddy's not getting out. New charges will be coming during the time that you're waiting for a sentencing hearing. This is way bigger than fucking Diddy. Like, this is basically saying who has the right to transport, you know, or solicit for sex. Like, this is basically saying that, you know, basically because of the title of the Mann Act, it being known as the White Slave Act, right? This is basically saying that you niggas ain't allowed to, you know, sell pussy, something like that.
A person violating the Mann Act can be prosecuted under various grounds. A person can be prosecuted for the offense of causing transportation of a person in interstate commerce for certain prescribed purposes, and the offense of inducing a person to go in interstate commerce for like purposes.
All right, so this is why the Mann Act, because Diddy can be charged with both. So Diddy can be charged 4 times under the Mann Act, right? Because he provided the transportation for Cassie and the other person, right? And plus because he knowingly knew the activity that was going to go on there, right? So because he provided the transportation, that's 2 counts of violation of the Mann Act right there. And because he knew of the activities, that's 2 counts of the Mann Act right there. So under federal law, Diddy is under 4 counts of violation of the Mann Act. Does that make sense? One's in the chat. One's in the chat if that makes sense. Because you get charged for each one. Getting a person there and knowing what was going to happen when they got there is 2 different charges. So that's 4 counts under the fact that they found him guilty. Now, I don't know what the Mann Act entails. I don't know what is the federal guidelines under the Mann Act. How much time would this, you know what I mean? Can you imagine if the law was written exactly like how you just said? I'm reading it. I'm reading it off of this. I'm not even making this up. Like we're gonna listen to it again. Listen to what they say. Listen to what the AI say. It says if you transport a person there and you know what's going to happen when they get there, you could be charged separately for each one. Listen.
A person violating the Mann Act can be prosecuted under various grounds. Person can be prosecuted for the offense of causing transportation of a person in interstate commerce for certain prescribed purposes, and the offense of inducing a person to go in interstate commerce for like purposes.
And you induce them because you're the one.
Offenses, and a person can be guilty of both offenses.
Separate offenses.
This can happen even if the same parties are involved in the transaction, and the cause of action occurred on the same day, the same place, and the same transportation.
See? Even if the parties are knowingly, even if it took place the same day, even if it was the same person, right? You could still get charged with 2 separate Mann Act offense. You get what I'm saying? Even if it happened with the same person in the same vehicle it doesn't matter. You could still get charged separately for each thing. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes it even worse, because the coercion part, right? And when you trick somebody or coerce them into this, that's another count of the Mann Act, right? So you providing the transportation and you coercing them to get there, that's 2 separate counts, even if it was the same person, right? So because the Jane Doe was tricked or whatever the case may be, right? That Jane Doe has 2 counts of Mann Act against him because 1, he provided the transportation, and 2, he coerced her, right? Now, Cassie too, right? Because he provided the transportation and under the pretense of it being a business agreement, right? He used the corporation in order to get her into heinous acts or, whatever, right? So you're using a corporation under the business of, which is a violation of the Mann Act. So all NDAs from this point out is null and void. Every NDA is null and void from this point out because it's showing you that it's a Mann Act federal law violation. Therefore, every NDA is in violation of, it's breaking a law. So if a law is broke, doesn't that break the NDA? So everybody that's getting flew out, that's talking about these NDAs, these non-disclosures, right? The law is broken. So therefore, you got the right to speak because the law is broken. A federal offense has been committed. So every NDA, null and void. Oh, this changes everything. This changes everything. Huh? Tell me this don't change everything. One's in the chat if you understand what I just now said. Yeah, the person who this was originally put in play for, which was Jack Johnson, right? The person that this was originally put in play for, Jack Johnson, he didn't commit these crimes, that, you know what I'm saying? And that's why he got acquitted in 2018 by Trump. But now that same law this same federal offense could be used to clean up our nation right now. This same federal offense law could be used to clean up our nation right now. And with that being said, let me introduce you to the next project that we are working on, which is basically talking about having the rights, right? Rights of the human collective, right? So right now there's a big fight with conscious people, the conscious collective, woke talk, woke society, whatever you want to call it. And I come to the realization that the intellectual minds that are out here trying to engage certain variations of conversation, we have no rights. They are gang stalking us. They are pushing our content down. They don't want us to be heard, right? We having a hard time finding each other because we don't have no rights. We're not guided by anything. We're not governed by anything, right? So I'm going to ask you guys to click the link in the bio, go to the petition. If you got the link tree, go to the link tree and sign it. But I'm going to ask for as many signatures as possible on this petition. We have PDF files out that we just now put out, so that way you can understand what the petition entails, right? So this is a petition to listen. One thing for sure, two things in a certain. I read the Constitution up and down, right? You got the freedom to do a lot of things, but you ain't got the freedom to think. All right? It says a lot of things on there. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, a lot of things, but we don't have freedom to think. All right? So I would like to get as many signatures as possible on this. If you would like, you can add the link tree. You can add this petition to your bio, to your link tree, to your Facebook, to anything that you want to add this to. I'm going to put it in the Discord, right? For anybody that want to add it, anybody that want to speak about it, whatever. I posted on multiple accounts on TikTok to try to get as many people to sign this as possible. This is not about just one country, one place. This is about the whole collective. You say what? Not say I needed you to go to help. That's why I asked you to get up to go to help. Because she might get a case of water. She's not going to be able to grab it. You know what I'm saying? 7, but 7, you get the juices. You get the juices, you get the canned sodas. Come on, you 5 nothing. And he's 6 something. 5 nothing, 6 something. Come on.
I don't mean I can't carry stuff.
I didn't say you couldn't carry stuff. Your muscle, your lack of muscle say you can't carry stuff. Your height don't say you can't carry stuff. The fact that you can't do 25 push-ups say you can't carry stuff. Love you. You get baby oil. So all of this stuff, listen, if this is not a weak conversation, listen, I wish I had a bigger platform to take this conversation to, right? To sit on a panel and actually take this conversation to. Over on TikTok, I got a pretty much decent, amount of people to start this conversation. I think this conversation needs to be had. I think this is a very interesting conversation. And I'm talking about this woke conversation, right? If you look at it, I tried to be as detailed as possible, or we tried to be as detailed as possible, because this is a collective. So I just thought of this today because I seen a mom rush into a school in order to save her kid from a woke teacher. This is what the title said, right? But the teacher wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just a lot of people are against this new idea of religion. They think it's new religion, right? And maybe we need to tag Dolores Cannon in this, because they're giving her the credit of this birth of this new age religion, right? But there's nothing protecting us. So now that we're coming into these new consciousness, we're coming into these new understandings of a servitude to others, of love, light, and practicing kindness, right? It's like they're closing the doors to us, so we can't practice this stuff. And this is where, if you see the the digital censorship of spiritual content. Social media platforms, search engineers, and AI systems frequently censor or suppress spiritual content, labeling it as a conspiracy, so on and so forth, or misinformation. The Despite it being meaningful and harmless and self-expression, right? So if you would like to look at the details of this petition, please feel free to click the link in the bio, go check out the details. Or you can come over to the Discord. I'm going to post it in the Discord. Feel free to pass the link on to other people, right? So that way more people can get heard. It doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter if you're Christian. Doesn't matter if you're Catholic. It really doesn't matter what religion you are, right? You guys have fought for the right for y'all religion to be here. And we would like a chance for our spirituality to also exist within the same space as y'all, right? We're not trying to do it maliciously. We don't want to get into no physical altercations, right? We just want the right to be able to practice a higher level of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, as above, so below, as without, so within. We want to learn. Our brains are yearning for knowledge. We want to learn, and we want to do it without having to worry about people, attacking us because we want to be intellectual. That's it. I don't want to be an animal. I don't want to be dumbed down. I don't want to just keep on following the damn ant pile. I want to learn. I'm going through mental anguish because I'm trying to figure out why people don't want to learn in this world. Y'all are scared of knowledge. I'm sorry, because this is something that I'm really passionate about. And it's kind of like frustrating. But I'll get back to the Diddy stuff. That's why that's blocked. That's why nobody get to see that. You came in here talking about stop ranting. That's why that's blocked. Go sign the petition. That's what you do. That's what you do. Go sign the petition. Help me out. That's what you need to do. Go sign the petition. Tell your ma, tell your pa, I'm gonna send you back to Arkansas. You know what I mean? Let's get this movement really going, guys. I told y'all we got great things happening over here. And don't forget the music that's out on Spotify. Don't forget to go check out the, Atlas Family Music Productions. We got more stuff coming for the Atlas Family Studio page, right? So we're going to try to put this thing in full operation, and we will be working with a antique shop selling all types of antiques and stuff, trying to, liquidate there because they got a lot of antiques in this shop. So we're going to try to put a virtual website together to get them get their shop out there and off the ground. So you'll see me going live from that shop sometime, and so on and so forth. And you'll see me like showing you guys the history of all different types of antiques and crystals and old, African stuff, old voodoo stuff, Haitian stuff. What else? I seen dinosaur stuff there. I seen, old Arab weapons there. I seen whole, Christian Catholic. I seen a bunch of stuff in there that we can just spend hours, looking at, going over, so on and so forth. So we're going to, embark on that journey too. Like I said, this is about, a journey to helping each other, right? A lot of people don't understand this journey, and a lot of people are going to fall by the wayside on the way because they ain't in it for the right reasons. But if you're in it for the right reasons, appreciate the CA. If you're in it for the right reasons, then all things will align according to how it's supposed to align. I tried to look for old Bibles in there. I got to go through the books a little bit more. I'm trying to find the Atlas Bible, see if I can find one of them in there, or one of them old, the old white Bibles with the Last Supper on the front of it. They usually have maps in there in the back part of those Bibles. They got maps and stuff in there that I would like to discuss with people. So yes, we are looking into the book section, because it is a book section there too. So I'll be putting the videos out later on. I got a couple of videos from the shop that I'm going to edit, and then I got to figure out how I got to put the website together, and so on and so forth, and then figure out like the whole pricing system. I got to get that onto the virtual thing, so that way you guys know what items you're ordering and what number it is, and so on and so forth. So that way we can take care of all the shipping and stuff like that. So we are going to be opening up that door to sell antiques and stuff. They're not in those shops. They're not. I checked a bunch of shops. Like I found one book, Bible Atlas of the Bible. I got a smaller rendition of it, but it's not like the old one that I had. And I let my cousin in Florida. I was down in Florida, and I told my cousin, I was like, "Yo, let me keep this stuff at your crib real quick," because I was in motion. So he try to say that his first he tried to say, ever since I let you put those books in my house, bad things been happening or some shit. I'm like, man, you're trying to find justification for the karma that's happening to you. You know what I mean? I said that shit would have happened to you, because think about it like this. You don't even know what books I put in your house unless you went through my stuff and read it. You know what I mean? I had like fresh pair of sneakers, like 20 hats, all this stuff. You know what I mean? And like you wouldn't even know what books I put in your house unless you went through all my stuff, right? So he tried to make it seem like the books that you had talking about crystals and this, that, and the third. Hold on, my guy. Hold on. You blaming you blaming shit that's happening to you on a book. So then after I was like, all right, I'm gonna come get my stuff from your house, right? Then he switched it up and said his garage flooded, or his his during the hurricane or something, water got into his garage, and my clothes and stuff got wet. A bunch of my stuff got wet. But I'm asking him, I'm like, how did the stuff get wet if I had it in a plastic tote with a lid on it? There's no possible way that stuff got wet if I had it in a plastic tote with a lid on it. You get what I'm saying? But see, my cousin, he the spiteful type. He's not really my cousin. He's my foster brother, right? Because we grew up in the same foster home. But I called him cousin because his mom I used to call Aunt Joanne, and his dad I used to call Uncle Mark. So when I was in the foster system, that's what I called them. So he the jealous type. So he's seen and witnessed my growth on TikTok and YouTube. So when I was on TikTok talking, he used to text me on the phone and try to be like, bring up this, bring up that. And I don't know if he got jealous of my growth on social media or whatever, but he tried to set me up. So I'm telling him like, all right, cuz I'm gonna just come pick my stuff up. Right. So then he tried to switch it up and say, all right, come pick it up. And then I'm like, because he told me he was going to put it in the mail a couple of times and he never did, just lying to me. So each time I keep on asking him or texting him and I got all the text message history for it and everything like that. So each time I'm calling him, I'm like, bro, that's like, the hats alone is like $500 in hats. I had, brand new Kyries. Now I'm not a materialistic person, but I'm asking him like, damn, bro, like the reason why I gave you the stuff when I was down there is because I was in motion and I didn't want to, have my stuff in the truck, right? Because I was in motion. I already had some stuff. And I was like, let me just leave this with you. I got a suitcase full of stuff already that I'm using. But when I swing back by, I'm going to pick it up. So when I want to go swing back by, he said that he was on his way to New Jersey. Like he was on the airplane to New Jersey. So that stretched it out. Right. And then I went and did a couple of things. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to hit you up the next time I'm back down in Florida. So when I get back down to Florida again, I'm hitting them up like, yo, what's up? I could swing by to get my stuff, or you could meet me somewhere to drop it off. Right. So he spent me. Right. He spent me. Right. I know when I'm getting spent. So now I'm like, all right, cuz like, can you just mail it to me? I'll send you the money to mail it to me. Right. So then uh that took place, right? So I'm like, damn, okay, that's how you want to do it. So now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just come get my stuff, right? So then he trying to set me up. He was like, oh yeah, that stuff that was in your back pocket fell out when you want walking. He said, I also got the stuff that was in your back pocket. I said, what back pocket? He like, oh, you know, that stuff that fell out your back pocket when you was walking away. I was like, ain't no stuff fell out my back pocket when I was walking away. That's a lie. So he tried to say like I had something in one of my pants pocket, right? I'm like, bro, I don't have nothing in none of my pants pockets. So you can miss me with that lie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, so you trying to set me up. So now I'm telling him, like, matter of fact, I'm not coming to pick my stuff up. You can send me my stuff. Cause now I'm like, okay, you trying to set me up. I'm gonna get a police escort if I do come there, right? I don't want to blow, I don't want to put your house on the spot like that by coming there with the police just to get my stuff. So I'm trying to work it out like, yo, can you just mail me my stuff? So I sent him the address a couple of times and he kept lying, saying that he did mail it, but he never mailed it, right? So like I got him in like text calls or whatever, got the text feed of, him with the BS or whatever the case may be. So, but neither here nor there, the book got lost. And now I'm trying to get the Bible Atlas again. But on another note, listen, y'all tell me what y'all think. We gonna go to the Discord so we can get a bunch of clips of this, so we can post some clips. I'm gonna try to do a little short video of it to explain how the Mann Act actually changes everything. Like, you guys don't really understand how this actually changes everything. Like, the people who operating under Plenty of Fish, that corporation can get hit with the Mann Act. Tinder and Grinder, those corporations can get hit with the Mann Act. Ray J with his agency to help out undercover brothers who want, to sneak with, trans on the low, that you could be looked at under the Mann Act. Ray J, should get hit with the Mann Act because he's using the Boys and Girls Club and the agency in order to prostitute. All these businesses out there, you got a male escort or any type of escorting business, you are in violation of the Federal Mann Act. Now, unless this act only applies to black people, something ain't right. Can we say that? Can we say something ain't right? Because the name of the act is literally called, and
or foreign commerce for prostitution or any
White
other
Slave
immoral
Traffic
purpose.
Act.
It
White
also made it a
Slave
felony to
Traffic Act.
coerce
Would
an
that
individual
imply
into
that it
such
only
immoral
go against
acts.
black people trying to do it?
Under the Mann Act, transportation
And
for the
is this a black only act? I gotta look this up and see if this is this an act that only black people can get charged for? I gotta look this up. I'm sorry, guys. I might have brought you this live too fast. I gotta go do some more studying on this and see, does this apply to every persona or does this only apply to black people? Is this like it would seem so. It would seem so that this only applies. That's what it's seeming like. You guys tell me. Um, so yeah, you guys gotta tell me, like, to me, this actually changes up so much because there's an argument on the table here. Is it not? No, this is what I'm saying though. You got to remember what the act was originally called. The act is called the White Slave Traffic Act, right? So if you not a white person, then you can't get charged, right? Right? Because it's called the White Slave Traffic Act. So it's against white slave. Wait, like, so does it only apply if it's a white person? What the fuck? So as long as it's a black person that is happening to, does it apply if you're transporting a black person versus a white person? Because this act was only put in because Joe Jackson was, he had 3 wives that he was sliding through, fucking them white women. So it only applies because he was, what the I don't know. I gotta do some more digging, people. I gotta do some more digging. I'm pretty sure before I even get back live, somebody else probably gonna steal it from, because the knot's been lurking and the knot's been, stealing our different topic points. He's even trying to branch over to TikTok and Twitch now, so now he's branching over to TikTok and Twitch. But I want y'all to remember, this is the same person who said that I was trying to come over here from what do you say? I was trying to come over here from TikTok to steal content or steal, you know what I mean? Y'all remember that? Now he's all on TikTok, posting crazy on TikTok. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. You can't talk shit about me being multi-platform and then go and try to be multi-platform. You can't downplay my numbers of my accolades on TikTok and then you go over there and try to achieve the same shit. But you just talk shit about it. That's why you, of all people, is going to get hit with the Mann Act, the not. Yeah, talk your shit now. But when they confiscate that cell phone and they find out that you using international flights and stuff like that to go prostitute in Dubai, your ass is going to, you should just indict yourself. Just go ahead and indict yourself, my boy. Put yourself in there because you fucked up. That's why you should leave intellectual people alone. You think you ducking all of this shit, trying to dox people, put people information out there, all of that shit, right? But you really just set up something, you just set up a failure for yourself. So you keep on mentioning the Atlas family if you want to, right? We're going to put the feds on your ass, all right? We're going to point out that you are using a corporation such as YouTube in order to sell your body. Okay? In order to sell your body. Huh? My body is a porta potty. Huh? Yeah. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out.
You like to talk a lot of smack. You spy and lie, you boast, always gotta do the most behind my back.
Matter of fact, where's we need to get this information to Danny Montana. Fuck that. We don't need that. Well, okay, Danny Robinson might be able to break down, more specifically the details of like the Mann Act and why a lot of these YouTubers are actually in violation of the Mann Act. I think that would be a great topic for her to cover, as far as the details of the Mann Act and why your cell phone and the use of it is in operation of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be great for somebody like her to do. She's always breaking down a lot of stuff. I think that would be great. And plus, If push come to shove, we can push it. She can push it to the Danny Roberts or Danny Montana page and roast the shit out of some of these people that's actually in operation of, solicitation or facilitation of that particular operation, which is known as self-mutilization. And I can keep on going with the Zations, but I think what we facing is a change within the nation that should be beneficial to a lot of the kids out there that's going through sex trafficking, a lot of the prostitutes out there that's going through this shit. A lot of our women are getting snatched up behind this shit. So this act could just be what we need. You guys let me know what you guys think. I'm going to clip up some videos from it. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah,
my man. You say it on loop like it's part of the plan. Delusional stalker, can't take a hint. You a trick.
No more flying people out.
Ass bitch. Light lizard lurking,
Y'all ain't flying people out no more. Who got flued out?
Bad built bitch with a stale taco wilted lettuce between your legs. Big rig queen with a brain on E. You chase that man like a damn fiend. Pop a pill, sis, you off your meds. The voices talking, they all in your head.
Hey, see y'all in the Discord. Love is love.
Check on this chick. She fell for a man who hit reverse quick. My man. It's getting pathetic.
All of y'all in
He
violation.
dodging you like bills and credit. My man.
All y'all.
Donut don't want you, please understand.
Selling that shit online.
Donut don't want you. He wants his number to be covered in doodle. You rode the short bus, never learned the route. Jump in deep waters, forgot how to get out. Gasping, grasping, now you yelling names. Got Atlas in your mouth, girl, stay in your lane. He don't want you, that ain't hate, it's facts. You chasing a ghost with emotional cracks. Back it up, trucker, park in reverse. You need a psych, evolving a nurse. My man, sounding like a broke down fan. Go cry in your cab, clutching a plan, but baby, he ain't your man.